What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Scarlet and Gray. It's good to see you back here. Even though the situation is somber, the mood is gloomy. It is good to see you guys. It was good to see those of you who recognize me at the tailgate here with my friend Zach Smith and Braxton Miller's. The Charging on Lane tailgate was a lot of fun. Thank you for everybody who came up and said hi. It's always great to meet you guys. I even had a listener shout at me from like across at the varsity club and was like, "Hey, you know who this is, right?" It was a
cool experience, wasn't it? I mean, it was really cool to see everybody out there and see people kind of recognize what was going on. And I'm excited. Penn State's going to be wild. It's going to be probably twice as big. I'm excited for it.
Yep. Yeah. We'll have all day to do it. Hopefully it's a night game. Please. Hopefully Fox doesn't mess us up on that. Speaking of the Penn State game, guys, help us get 2,500 subscribers, please, and grow this channel. 2,500 by the Penn State game on October 30th. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to this channel if you are a massive Buckeye fan. Zach, I bring you on to talk about some somber things and some things that really need to be said. I love your candid opinion. So if you could keep it G-rated, but also candid, if you keep the language tame, but also Scarlet and Great level family. Can we
go PG-13?
You're just gonna have to pretend your two youngest are in the room with you.
Okay.
If that'll even stop. But pretend my sensitive little ears are right there with you. So guys, first of all, if you're not listening to Menace to Sports, if you're not listening to Zach's show, you're doing it wrong. Last week I said he was the best college football not analyst not in the business. I was explaining this to my wife today. We are going to dive into some stuff about the Buckeye defense. It's not going to get any better than this. I'm telling you, I'm going to stand by this. This is the best analysis in sports, period. Because no one's going to be able – what you did today, Zach, on your show, and I felt like texting you, Monday, no show. I felt like Wedding Crashers. Make me a bicycle, clown. I want to give me a show to listen to. I want to know what the heck happened because the defense was so bad. Oh, Zach, when I went back and watched, you know what it looked like to me by somebody who's not as educated as you? It looked like they were so out-schemed that there was no answer and that it could not have possibly been fixed with any play call. Obviously, it's not the case.
No, of course
not. But it looked so bad to me. I was like, oh, I don't even know what to do. It just looks like football's too hard. It looks like you can't stop outside runs. It's just impossible.
Well, I even said on my show, like our linebackers right now, they look like play action pass is illegal. Like
yes, that's what I'm saying. Or a crack block. What? I was like, well, what are you supposed to do? He got in his way. He can't get over there.
Well, wait a minute. You're covering him, man, and he blocked this other guy. What are you supposed to do? That's 2 for 1. That's not fair.
It's like if you see really bad defense in basketball and somebody sets a screen and you're like, well, I don't know what to do.
That guy got in my way.
Yeah, guys, if it's this bad, please comment yes or no. If you think a new defensive coordinator is needed right now, no feelings. Don't worry about anybody's feelings. New defensive coordinator right now. Yes or no. Comment below and let us know if you want if you have a choice in mind. Zach, I wanted to get back to your show when you said that it's not just the defensive coordinator's responsibility to say, okay, he's cracking he's doing the Zeke Elliott 85 yards through the heart of the South, right? The old Evan Spencer crack block on the wide receiver or on the linebacker. It's not just the DC's coordinator to say, hey, we need to switch to zone or pass that off. You got a lot of guys on staff who are football minds. And like you said, this is why I say you're the best analyst there is. And because no other analyst goes, when I was a former coach and I watched a struggling coordinator, I stepped in and told him what to do to fix it. And we fixed it. You get that insight. Yeah. Biggest question I have, Zach, why is there a culture in Columbus? You will never convince me Larry Johnson's not a great football mind. You'll never convince me Matt Barnes doesn't know football. You'll never convince me Kerry Coombs doesn't know football. He knows football in some capacity. Mm-hmm. You'll never convince me Paul Rhodes doesn't know football or Ryan Day. Why is there a culture that no one was able to say, hey, coach, we need to flatten out, go to zone right here?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, that's the $1 million question, right? That in reality, that is what Ryan Day is trying to figure out right now. So if I had the answer, we wouldn't be talking. I'd be telling Ryan he'd fix it, and I'd be making a lot of money. But here's what happens, right? So many different things can cause this to go awry, right? And the biggest thing is staff alignment. And it's all about, does everyone know their role and do their role at a very, very high level, right? And is there egos walking into the door? And that's the answer I don't have an answer for. I know Kerry has, he thinks very highly of himself, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm not saying that's the problem. But you get to a place like Ohio State, you got 4 or 5 guys in a staff room on one side of the ball. All those guys are uber successful. They're very successful. They all have egos. Urban Meyer used to say it the best. His favorite staff he ever had was Bowling Green. You know why? Because they're all a bunch of young, dumb idiots that couldn't ever question something he said, right? They'd never had success. So he was just telling them how to be successful, and they just listened and did it. And he used to talk about that all the time because you need that alignment. You need that buy-in. So what's going on defense? Honestly, I couldn't even project it because some of the stuff that happened from Alabama till now, I don't know if you're familiar with Jeff Snook, but he's a reporter. But he put out that thing, an article today about this is 118 points in 3 games, the highest total in a 3-game stretch in the history of Ohio State football. Like, for that to happen, you either need such a fragmented staff on defense or just multiple incompetent people to allow that to happen. And so that's the problem I see, is that there is a big issue here. And it's not Kerry Coombs. It's not any individual coach. It's the cohesion of the collection of those people. It's not working. It's just not. And there's an issue that needs fixed. And that's why Ryan didn't make a decision today. He didn't change coordinators. He didn't fire Kerry Coombs because he's trying to figure out, what is the issue? Like, how do we fix this?
Yeah, I mean, what are the chances? What's the chance this happen? Somebody said, "Hey, we need to switch the zone," and somebody said, "Hey, stay in your lane. You coach the linebackers."
Happens all the time.
Really?
Happen on offense, right? I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but when I would give advice, it was always shot down. Like, and Ed Werner used to say it all the time. I'm the offensive coordinator. And no one better forget it. And it's like, okay, well, that's the mentality that's going to ruin our offense. And it's not that I had the answers or he didn't have the answers. It's that mentality can kill an entire, side of the ball. And I'm not saying Kerry is that way, but if a coach is so stubborn and so convicted in his own ability that they refuse to take advice or take help or outsource or do anything, that can be very problematic. That, and by the way, what we just described was Urban Meyer for a long time, until he realized kind of his own, he looked in the mirror. He looked in the mirror and said, you know what? I'm not an offensive guru anymore. The game's passed me by. I've been running a program for this long. I need to allow people that understand today's game to do it. And he did. He let Ryan Day do it, and things started flourishing again. And it takes a strong person to look in the mirror and realize that and say, all right, these are my weaknesses. You guys let your strengths fix my weaknesses.
Yeah. So those are your options, guys. Either no one on the defense sees it and can clearly communicate to each other in this drive, or even when the offense is on the field, how to fix it, or it is getting communicated and it's getting shot down. The other thing, and we don't have time to dive into it, but this is just something for us all to think about. When the linebackers can't trigger, see play, react, go. When they can't see the push crack, the crack block coming and switch, cover down, anything. When no one can just see it and react, you almost wonder, what are you drilling in practice? Do you not see anything? Do you not drill see ball, get ball? Do you not drill your keys?
Right.
I remember Malik Harrison, if you handed the ball to his gap, you were not getting through it. He was meeting you in it or behind it. Right. Because his keys were just boom, 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 boom. That remains to be seen. Zach, I don't know if you saw, there's a crazy locker room report that came out that there was dissension. I guess people seen it at halftime or right before the half. Ryan Day livid at Kerry Coombs, which that's going to happen. I'm sure Ryan Day, he's not trying to embarrass anybody. When you're on the sideline, last thing's on your mind is that a camera's on you. You are just working. You are just trying to fix it. Sure. So there was no like purposeful state. I used to hate it when they were like, Urban's got his hands on his knees. He's begging for the camera to see him. Like, nice. He's in the middle of his job. He could care less about the camera.
Yeah,
right?
Forget about it for sure.
Yeah. But obviously there was some anger, but then there's the report. I don't know if you saw this, Zach, that there's mutiny in the locker room. Apparently, Al Washington pulled out a pair of nunchucks and switched them around. There was a hostage situation. One of the defensive players pulled a graduate assistant into the coach's office and through the window. He said, "Let me blitz or this guy gets it." Quinn Ewers was over there the whole time. Maybe this is like prophetic that he's the man to fix it all. He was just over there singing "Achy Breaky Heart" with an air guitar going. Wild. If you guys haven't seen the report, I'll be sure to create it and put it out there. But how wild could it have possibly gotten at halftime?
I've seen some wild stuff at halftime, but I don't think it got wild at all. I didn't see the report to answer your question, but a dissension. And these kids are good kids and they're bought into the program. I mean, one game's not going to make that happen. It's going to take now. They lose a third game, then you're going to be looking at, wow, there might be some kids questioning what's going on. But I don't know who reported that, but I would say that is probably clickbait false. But
yeah, I might have embellished that a little.
You might have. I can't.
I'm still going to type it up and put it out though.
Other than the Quinn Ewers achy breaky heart part, that seems extremely believable. Just saying.
He was vaping while he did it too.
Probably drinking kombucha or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't know it. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's supposed to be good for you.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Last question. Does Ryan Day insist on a one high safety look? Is that him? Did he insist? Did he bring in Jeff Hafley because that was Jeff Hafley's thing? And he insists whoever he's had since then runs a one high, or does he not care? What's your take on that?
I guess the question is like, what is one high defense, right? Like, I mean, certainly he doesn't want to sit in a one high defense every single snap forever for the history of Ohio State football. I mean, there's a time to play a two high coverage. There's a time to play a one high coverage. I think he likes a one high coverage better because if you have the guys up front, like we had 2 years ago, if you have the guys on the outside with Jeff Okudah and Damon Arnett, if you have the guys that are coached well, taught well, and play really hard, a one high defense with a pass rush is really a great defense, right? Because here's what Ryan knows. He's going to score a ton of points. And in his mind, the plan to win for them is they're going to be fine on offense. He's going to handle that. If they can play a very efficient one high defense and slow people down, stop the run, get after the quarterback and play, let's just say top 15 defense, they're going to be in the hunt for the national championship every year. And I think that's why he's doing that. Where you look at other defenses, right? There's wild defenses like 3-4s with 4 eyes, inverted halves. Those teams never win
TCU type stuff.
Yeah, I mean they're really hard, but they're not sustainable, right? Like they don't win it all. Like Nick Saban is a very big 2 high to 1 high defense guy where he plays a version of man coverage and zone coverage in 1 high that's convertible, which is very, very effective. If you have the guys to do it, I don't know that there's a better defense out there. And Ohio State has the guys. So a lot like Urban that demanded press quarters, right, in 2014 when he brought Chris Ash in, he did that because that was problematic for us on offense, where Ryan sees that 1 high defense as a really, if it's well executed, well run, well taught, well coached, that's really hard to move the ball on. He's not demanding it like, this is what I want. He's saying, I'm really smart offensively. This causes us the most problems. Let's be experts at it and lead the country in defense. Because in my opinion, as an offensive guru, that's the hardest thing to go against.
Unless the guys are really bad at it.
So it's like anything else,
Right. If you're not bad.
You pick a defense. It's like anything else.
Right. If you're not bad.
You pick a defense. They'd be awful at it if it's not taught well and executed well.
Right. And that's what it seems here is that the scheme, well, I will say this. A one high, and even to my amateur eyes, without a great safety that's a sure tackler and great angle taker to clean everything up, a la Jordan Fuller, it gets really difficult. Yeah. And you go Jordan Fuller, okay, I think as a tackler, Josh Proctor is a step below him. Bryson Shaw is definitely not there yet to be the guy that cleans everything up.
No.
Yeah, so a one high with a guy like Bryson Shaw until he's ready is, I think, a difficult sell. I think it's a difficult sell now for Buckeye Nation.
But the question is, so what's the answer then? I mean, that's the definition of a safety. What, a too high coverage? No, that's not the answer. Then you got the middle of the field wide open. That same safety that can't make the tackle from the middle of the field has to make it from the hash. It's not going to happen. It's going to be even harder. There's no.
Or you just get ran to death. All right, if you just sit back at too high,
or just do what Jalen Holmes high school coach did: max blitz, zero coverage, every play. Screw it.
Yeah, are we there? You know what I mean?
I mean, honestly, we might get a sack or two and a turnover. I'm here for it.
That's exactly what I was thinking in the national championship game. And when Baron Browning got home, I thought, we're not going to hold up in coverage. We're not. So try to get there. I mean, that's all we got. Try to get there. Yeah. All right, Zach. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It's been really good. You guys, let us know below in the comments what you think. Any changes need to be made. You got a defensive coordinator in mind that you would like to see run this defense. Questions for Zach maybe that we should answer next time, because I'm sure that this defensive thing, Zach, I'm probably going to talk to you again about it. I just have a sneaky feeling.
Yeah, it might not go away tonight.
It seems like a work in progress. So we'll talk about it again next time, guys. As always, goodbye. God bless, and go Bucks.